The moment you are born, you start building perceptions about everything around you. Whether you come to these perceptions on your own, or you are influenced by those that you are surrounded with. They inevitably play a major role in how and why you make most of the decisions that you do. Much like driving the road ahead, you can change the path of your thoughts and the way that you perceive things. When you open yourself to new experiences and allow growth, your perceptions will change, just as we imagine they will after the next 30 minutes.
I get a paycheck, you know, it's consistent. It's a 30-year deal I can retire on. I got a 401k, I got a truck, gas card, company cards, you know, I mean, it's a killer job, you know. What did I ever get in racing? I mean, yeah, it's like, well, you could get to the top level and become this and that. Well, you know what, it wasn't in my cards. I wasn't fortunate like that. I didn't make the right decisions professionally. It's like, what am I gonna do? Just ride privateer my whole life and struggle? It's like, oh, you got a lot of talent. Well, talent only gets you so far, you know? There's business decisions that need to be made and you better, you know, choose them wisely. I have slowly but surely, with a humble, you know, outlook and you know, obviously not a ton of money, but consistent income every 2 weeks I get paid, and I've pulled myself out of the hole as much as I possibly can with how much I make, and I'm doing okay, you know. And I'm thankful that I actually looked at it and was like, okay, it's time to join the real world and stop chasing the dream of being a racer, because it's just not working. So. And my whole family's always been enthusiasts of riding on my dad's side. So it was just natural that I would be riding too, because that's what my old man did. You know, he'd go out to the desert and have a good time with my uncle and aunts, and everyone would go out there like a big, you know, family vacation. That's what we did for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So that's how I started, just a desert rat pretty much, just riding around in the desert and cruising around on my PW, and then ended up gradually working into racing. So, and I would say it's probably like 90 or 91 when I first did my first national. I was like 6 years old. And it just pretty much just took off from there. We just started racing every single weekend, and that's what I wanted to do. You know, that was my dream as a kid, was to always just become a professional and to race my motorcycle. That's all I ever thought about. That's what I dreamed about, and went to bed watching moto races every single night obsessively. So it was an obsession for many, many years, that's for sure.
kind of wonder, like, shit, am I doing this more out of love than anything else? But we're putting a ton of our own money in, like definitely over the years, it definitely racks up. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on racing, and then you're not really getting much back out of it. Really, the whole goal is to try get on a team where you're making a salary and you're making a substantial amount to support yourself. It's another thing that bugs me too, is that I don't want to sort of be living this life through my parents in a way, because, you know, I'm 20 years old now. As much as I'd like to be doing it forever, I mean, I kind of got to look in the mirror and go, well, you don't want to be sending your parents broke for your dream, pretty much. I'm hoping to be able to make it on a team and, make money someday so I can support myself and, have a life of my own instead of, living through them every day.
When you brought it up, it's like, what are my memories? Well, I remember being drugged by my hair. I remember getting screamed at. I remember being grilled. Where's your lap times? You got to get them faster. Come on, come on, come on. We didn't spend all this money to be out here to have you lose. It's like, and me as a kid, I rebelled against that. I wasn't okay with being treated like that. A lot of these kids will, whatever. No, I wasn't. I got to the age where I'd pop my old man in the cheek, because he was getting in my face and I had enough. And I got big enough, so I thought, I love my dad and I've forgiven him for all that, even if he doesn't ask for my forgiveness or my mother. But it got out of control. Absolutely it did, many times. And eventually I was rebelling so much that it was like, well, what am I gonna do here with my son, And I think my dad realized, it was like, okay, after watching a few of my friends die and went to the funerals, it's like, whoa, this is not okay, And I'm sure he remembered those parents and the way they treated their kids, and it was like, oh, shit, maybe he started looking into the way he was running things, I've seen these parents get crazy, I've seen the Villapotos, and I literally wanted to grab his dad by the neck and beat his ass, watching him run around the track. I mean, Tony, Alessi, all these guys, and I don't mean to call these guys out, right? Because they are good people, and we all struggle. I struggle as a parent, I make mistakes, but I mean, come on, man. These kids, the way, I get it, all right, yeah, your kid was successful and it was worth it, you pushed him hard, but to me, no, it's not. That's not okay. That's not all right to sit there and curse your son's name because he's not beating someone, That, you're teaching your kid to be a jackass, basically. You're teaching your kid to not be able to handle himself in actual life, to get a normal job one day. I mean, how's that person gonna handle stuff like that when you're treating them? You're instilling these values in your children when you treat them like that, And to me, that's not okay. That's the part of the sport that has always bothered me the most, is how it's like, oh, just blind eye to that, it's okay. Let's just show the pretty side, It's like, well, there's a real ugly side to it. there's a side to it that is really not all right. You know, if I was a promoter, the first thing I would do is I'd have a riders meeting, right? Or if I was holding a race, and it'd be, okay, here's the deal, parents. You know, there's rules, and if you start treating your children like this, you're going to be escorted out of here immediately. And if this happens again, the police are going to be involved, because this is child abuse. I mean, it truly, truly is, and I've watched it. I've watched parents walk away from a child who has a bone sticking out of their goddamn skin because he's not winning now. And it's like, I'm out of here. He's a fucking piece of shit. He just hurt himself. How dare he does that? We put all this money into this, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, what? I mean, come on. And that's okay? I mean, we just put a blind eye to it? No, that person's all right. Yeah, they're just real passionate, you know? It's like, come on. This is craziness, you know? These are kids. And that's the part of it that is just really shitty, you know? And I get it, you know? Parents just, they want the best for their kids, and they lose perspective, and they go, you know, I've been there as a parent where you lose your mind a bit, you know, and you get so upset with your kid, you're like, gosh, you know, but there's a difference though, you know. There's child abuse, and then there's just losing your cool. And I would like to see that change, you know. I would like to see parents lighten up, let their kids be children. Let's not freak out and treat them like that, you know? Because I'll tell you what, this sport is gnarly. And I've also seen these same parents that have abused their children have to bury their child because they died racing. And I'll tell you what, I can guarantee you those parents felt everything that they had done, and it killed them. It was like 1,000 pounds of bricks just smashing their soul is how they felt, because you could see it, you know? But I've also seen the parents that didn't treat their kids like that, right? And unfortunately, things happen in racing, and they were at peace though. You know, oh, my boy was doing what he loved, and it's okay, you know? I mean, it's not okay, I'm torn up, I wish it didn't happen, but you can see the peace in them, you know? And that's the part where it's like, I just wish more parents would be like that, you know?
My dad was like this when I was growing up, is that, you know, like winning amateurs is good, but it doesn't really matter once you get to the pros. I mean, you'd want a strong pro career over an amateur career. I won a fair bit as an amateur, but not a whole lot. I mean, like you see today, there's guys that won next to no amateur titles and that are pretty successful at where they are today. So definitely helps winning as an amateur, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't. It all matters when you get to the pros and you're on the big stage. I had a goal, like coming over here, within a few years I wanted to like try be on a factory team and, you know, try make it and have good results and everything and really be successful. And then if it doesn't work out in like a certain amount of time, I'm not gonna, you know, waste time and people's money and just ride around getting average results, you know. I mean, I'm either gonna do it at 100% or I'm not gonna do it at all. Definitely be a dream come true if I was able to, you know, secure a ride and all that. Doing what we were doing, you know, we're doing it out of our own pocket and we're traveling to all the races and, you know, I'm working on bikes during the week and I mean, as super stressful as it is, I mean, it's real like character building to me. You know, it gets to the point where you want to walk away, but then you stick to it and you just keep going and trying to make it work. And I'm sort of glad I've gone through all this, as stressful and as much as sometimes I don't like it and just want to throw in the towel. We just keep going. I mean, my parents raised me just to not throw in the towel that easy, and they just want me to keep going, and I know they'll keep going as far as they can. Definitely, if I was able to secure something like that, it'd definitely be a dream come true. I mean, growing up in Australia, that was all I ever dreamed of, was coming over here and being successful. I mean, looking up to Chad Reed and Brett Metcalf and how they got here. I mean, you can tell those guys didn't throw in the towel that easy, otherwise they wouldn't be where they are today, and I definitely want to be at that point at some stage.
To me, it was a blessing, because when I walked away, I literally have never felt that type of feeling before, because I didn't realize how, it was weird. It was like something died in me. I literally just started sobbing. It was like, wow, what the heck? Like, I felt like I got broken up with. It was like, it was weird. And when I walked away, though, it was just from the professional side. It wasn't from riding. I went riding more than likely the next weekend, you know? I mean, I had a bike still. My dad had bought some bikes, and I'd still ride, and I still really enjoyed it. But I learned so much about life and humbling myself, and I learned so many different things that I never would have found if I would have been racing. And I'm thankful for that, because I feel like it saved me. You know, just ride for free, whatever, dude, you know, see what you can do type deal. And I blew my knee out, you know, that's pretty much where it ended. I didn't do that great. I think my best main event finish was like a 20th, so it was crappy. You know, I had a couple decent heat races, and then a couple rounds into it, I was out, so. And then I was kicked to the curb again, you know, which I already knew that's inevitable in the sport. Once you're hurt, especially if you don't got a contract. These days, all these injury clauses in their contracts and all this shit. I mean, actually, I had one too in 2006 and 2007. It was like, you get hurt for X amount of time, we can can your ass. Asinine to me that you can even do that in a sport that's that gnarly, but whatever, that's just the direction of the sport and where they want to take it, you know. Riders in, riders out, you know, bring in the next guy, so. I trained my ass off and trained myself into the ground and still tried to race, and it was an awful year. I mean, as far as result-wise, I had never finished so poorly with how much effort I put into it. And I was just toast. I mean, at the end of the year, my immune system was pretty much collapsed. My lymph nodes were so swollen from infection, and it was just awful. I mean, I was in such a horrible state, pneumonia and bronchitis, and, you know, middle of the summer, I mean, my body was just shutting down. So, I mean, I pretty much killed it, you know. We like to use that term a lot in this sport, and that's what I did. I killed it. I literally killed my body. And I went, well, that was it, you know. I mean, my last national in 2012 was at Lake Elsinore. I finished DNF, and qualified, and that was it. So told myself, if I don't make it happen here and I don't get a ride or something positive, you know, where I actually finish the race strong, then I'm gonna have to find a job. And I knew leading up into the race how sick I got, that I was fucked. Pretty much that was what happened, but at the end of it, it was okay. I was like, all right, let's just start filling out job apps and get hired somewhere, see what I can do. Definitely can't keep sitting around on my ass going, what am I gonna do? You know, it's like, just gotta do something. So pretty much got hired right away with the water treatment thing. I'm the guy who's gonna look out for you. I'm the guy who's gonna slow down off the triple and make sure those other sons of bitches around me are slowing down too, aren't gonna be doing some crazy ass fucking maneuver and jumping over your head. That's what I'm doing, you know? It's like, I'm not going, oh man, I'm gonna get up there, let me do this cross up in between this guy, land on his, you know, no, I'm not that guy. You know, Stewart's that guy. Most of these guys are that guy. They're gnarly, they don't care, they're just out for themselves, and that's not me, you know? So that's what I bring to the table, a little bit different. You know, within the industry, you get no respect for that, but guess what? I don't want your respect. So take it out the door, because guess what? I'm gonna go to work tomorrow, I'm gonna get paid on Friday, and we're okay, you know? And I'll go ride my dirt bike.
There's a lot of things. Mainly the thing I love about it is just the adrenaline rush. I mean, you're out there, especially you're up against 40 of the best guys in the world, and you know, you're battling for position and everything. And then, I mean, I come in from the race, and like, I mean, sometimes you're pissed from results and all that, but then most of the time it was like, that was awesome getting out there. I got smashed with rocks for 30 minutes straight, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
I feel that I'm a better person for what I've gone through and keeping a positive attitude than if I were to become super successful and conceited and walking around with, you know, a butt patch that says the GOAT on my butt. I mean, I'm sorry to say, to me that's, I mean, the greatest at what? Riding a dirt bike. You know, why don't you put that on your butt, you know? Put the GOAT on a dirt bike, you know? Because to me, it's like, I don't know, man. The egos are just so overboard. To me, but that's not me, though. I would never sit there and say, oh, I'm number one. I mean, that's just not my style, you know? You know, I'm sure people say, oh, it's because you're a loser. Well, right on, dude. I am. Sweet. Like, I don't care. You're just a dirt bike rider. Get over yourself. You're just a baseball player, whatever it may be. Let's all just, I mean, come on. What connects us all as human beings but suffering, right? Suffering and love and all these real things. Why do we gotta sit there and make, I don't know, I'm just not into the whole champion thing, you know, and all that crap. It's like, it's crap to me, because honestly, when you're laying on your deathbed, to me, I would think that the last thing you'd think about is, thank God I won that title. I mean, seriously. It's like, I think all that crap just melts away, truthfully. I mean, what are you gonna do with all that shit? With all that money, with all those trophies? What are you gonna do with it, you know? You gonna bring it with you when you die? No, you're not. You're leaving it here. It's where it's staying. So, to me, why don't we put our energy, put our heart, our love into things that are real, into the people that we care about, right? That's what I'm all about, or I try to be, you know. I'm a jackass at times, you know. It's life, man. We're all struggling. We're all suffering. We all go through so much shit, you know. And to me, it's like, let's just be more real here, you know? But hey, what can you say?
All too often, we tend to forget that things are not what they are. They are what we think they are. We compare what we think to what is before us. So why not change our thinking? Although cliche, maybe we should begin by not judging a book by its cover. This may be difficult for some, as the sport of motocross is very much closed off to the real world. From a very young age, we have people influencing us on what is so-called right and what is wrong. This closed-mindedness is not only rampant, but perpetuated by the nature of the sport. You are so focused on the task at hand that most things in your peripheral fall to the wayside. You begin to perceive those that say anything about you or the sport as a hater, although many times they are just an alternative view, or a voice of reason. So now that you've seen the side of two racers who are on completely opposite ends of their respective careers, will you view them the same? Has your perception of these riders been altered? Many may not even know who these men were before today, but you may remember them now. Some of the most profound answers to life's questions will not be answered by conversation, yet by whispers from the wind.
But kind of like we were talking about at the track.
Dude, you poor guy. You look like you're about ready to keel over on me. It's been a long day, hasn't it?
Yeah, no.
You're like, are you going to be all right, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
What we were kind of talking about at the
He's
track.
been up since 3. Yeah.
Dedication.
That's dedication right there. Shit.
Well, you know, I'm pretty excited for Hangtown this weekend, you know. I mean, I'm hopefully going to put her on the box, you know. Hopefully get a good start. I mean, my Bridgestone tires will be hooking up like super hectic this weekend. You know, I'm just going to be out there shredding, dude. This is good, eh?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just so good.
Yeah.
It changes you who you are.
Just getting my Hangtown prep in, man.